Here we go again.
Yeah.
Speakers, baby.
There we go. Let's
It's
try
hot
it.
out here.
Eat speakers.
It's always good when you got Prince in the background.
Always. Purple Rain. That's about all I know.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, man. Sheesh. My wife is a big fan.
Prince?
Oh man, love Prince.
Music in general?
Everything. And her sister's even a bigger fanatic, Prince fanatic. Yeah, you just love Prince. Prince. They even went to whatever. What's his not his hot where he used to live and everything. I forgot the name of it. You know how Elvis has like Graceland, Prince has I forgot the name of his whole
I have no idea.
estate. But yeah, they went to his estate over there and yeah, they had a great time. They saw where he records.
Where's Prince from?
Is it Memphis?
Oh, okay.
Is it Memphis? I want to say Memphis. I could be wrong. Hold on. Let me Google. Even though this is just off camera, but it's on camera and will probably be cut out. But
I don't know. I know.
Prince.
I thought it was like Minnesota.
Minnesota. You're right.
Minnesota?
Yeah, Lake Minnetonka. Yep. Yeah, because you were talking about. Yeah, you're right. See, I knew it started with a M. Paisley Park.
Paisley Park.
Paisley
Minnesota.
Park is the name of his
Shout
estate.
out
Shout out to that.
to
Man.
Paisley Park Estate
Yeah,
in Minnesota,
Prince was a legend.
where
bro.
it's cold. It's cold here. So I know it's cold as hell there.
It's freezing, but they were saying it's beautiful there, though, bro. Like the whole city.
I've been there before.
You have been to Minnesota? Shut up.
Like 5 times.
Really?
Yeah.
How's it like? I hear like it's like surrounded. There's a lot of water area around it, and people are going out.
During the summer, it's green, bro. Green.
Yeah.
Like everything is green, man. In the winter,
Yeah. What the hell are you doing in Minnesota, bro?
shit, man.
There's a lot
Years ago.
Had to be a chick involved. Huh?
Yes, a chick involved. He knew it. See, that's what that experience. That's what that experience leads to.
Yeah,
he knew.
It's that OG. I don't get the grades for nothing, man.
He went through a couple different checklists. Nope.
Yeah,
it's got to be a chick.
It could be a female.
Got to be a chick. Yeah.
How do you think I got Fresno? But that's
Got to be a chick. Yeah, she is here in Fresno now, but
Really?
obviously that's my past. So
Yeah.
we're not together anymore. But yeah, so she was out there. I was
Okay.
here, and I visited many times.
Mm-hmm.
Went to winter formals out there, and it was freezing. School was canceled because it was just too cold.
Really?
That was the reason on TV. Too cold.
That shit we never see here. That's crazy.
No,
Imagine that
no.
waking up, dude. As a kid, I would have loved that. I was, it's too cold to go to school. Hanging out, we're staying home. Like,
And I didn't get no heads up, bro. I went over there with Vans. My toes were just icicles.
Not Vans.
Vans, bro. I went over there in
Were you a
Vans.
skater that day?
Nah, just
Vans are
you know
shit.
what? I used to work at Vans.
No
for
way.
3 years.
But I love Vans, bro. Like I was wearing Vans religiously, like just all black, the solid black ones. Like
Yeah.
Like I would buy a pair like every 3 months. But
Yeah.
But you used to work there at the mall?
3 years, bro.
At the mall.
I went from Vans to probation department, juvenile correctional officer.
Right.
Then from probation to sheriff's. And then
Right.
from sheriff's to real estate, where I'm at now.
Wow.
So my first one, I was there for 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was nice. Did you like it? Did you get hooked up? Did you hook
I
up?
loved it, dude.
Yeah.
We had 50% off employee discount,
Yeah.
which is actually really smart because we weren't making much. I remember when I left, I was making $8.68 an hour.
What year are we talking? Because
We're talking 20.
depending on the year, that could be a lot of money
Not
back in the
20.
day.
Or yeah, it is 20, but 2000.
Okay, 2000, anything $8 is not cutting it.
2008. 2008
Yeah.
to 2011.
Nah, that ain't it.
No, it wasn't.
Because I thought $8.50 was huge back when I was in college. Now I'm gonna date myself. I don't care. San Jose State, bro. I want to
You're
say
a Spartan?
Spartans. What? 1994. Some of you guys weren't even born in 94. Sad. Yeah, 94.
But if you weren't born in 94 and you're watching some heat speakers, kudos to you. Okay.
For
Because
sure.
I didn't start taking this stuff serious until
Yeah.
I was much older than you guys are now.
Yeah.
So.
But we're young hip. I mean, I'm not young, but
You're young.
we're still
You're young.
we're still relevant. We're still hip. I'm
Absolutely.
still knowing what's
I
happening.
get it. We know what's going on.
A little bit,
Yeah,
what's going on, and what's hot and what's not. But yeah, 94, bro. Saw the ad for UPS, bro. They were hiring. I'm in college. I'm like 19-ish. Man, 850, dude. We were like, whoa, that was a whole bunch of money. Like shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got to the story, but I got a quick story about UPS. It was like 15 of us. No shit. Like 15 all new employees starting at the same time, going through the whole training.
Okay.
I shit you not. I lasted the longest. Well, no, the second longest out of all that 15. And I only lasted 3 months. By the
in and out.
it was brutal, bro. We were loading. We were in Sunnyvale, California. They had us loading, right? 15 of us going through, orientation. Then we started training.
Mhm.
It was so tough. Like we would work from like literally like 6 to 9. what, 3 hours.
Mhm.
But those 3 hours, bro, like was super hard labor. It felt like 10, 12 hours. Like it was a lot of activity, but it was so tough. Like as I said, dude, it would seem like every other day somebody would quit. More employees would quit. They would quit. Before you know it, 2.5 months later, I'm like, shit. Me and this other guy, like really the only ones left. And we're like, yeah, people can't cut it. It's not for everybody,
No.
which it wasn't. Within that 3 months, I sprained my ankle twice. I had my back injury.
The hell they have y'all doing?
Oh man, it was rough.
Man.
Yeah. Loading in that facility in Sunnyvale, they said that was one of the hardest hit in California, and they got a bunch of boxes and things like that. You had to build. It was a lot going on. You had to be quick. You had to be diligent. You had to know how to build, stack up the boxes in a trailer.
Tetris.
And if you
Tetris.
and if you're not stacking them right, that whole thing could fall on you. So boxes were fall. It was crazy, but lasted 3 months. I left. And then one guy, he was the last man standing, bro. And then he might be still there today.
He's running it now.
He might be.
He might be CEO of that place now.
I would think so, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's weird how the beginnings.
It's really humble beginnings. Everyone starts there for the most part, which brings us to this, man. This is like our second, third episode, third maybe. Let's introduce who the hell you are. Who are you, bro? Like, let's tell people what you are, what you're about, and what you offer.
Yeah. Okay. So, my name is Mark Rocha. I'm local here to the Fresno area now, have been since about 5 years old. So we moved here pretty early, my family and I. Went through a couple different careers. Eventually landed on where I'm at now as a mortgage loan officer with Nexa Mortgage here in Fresno. Loan officers, all across the country will help you with things like financing your first home, second home, third home, an investment property, commercial, plots of land, anything that any real estate property that you're going to purchase, I would be on the back end, the financing side. So that's where I'm at now. Ton of life experience that led me here. I have not been doing this for long, about 2.5 years now. But there's a lot of different careers and we already started on some of our old jobs. I didn't know you're at UPS. You didn't know I was at Vance.
Right.
Started at some of our old careers that have made us who we are, where we are today, So 100%. We are here to speak heat on
and we
these
both
topics
from probation,
corrections. That's right. Which is how we linked up, and probably why we get along so well in this new crazy market that's got everybody going wild, man.
Really wild. And before I'm gonna let you go in on where the rates are, because we got some crazy updates for you guys, but I just want to give you a quick introduction because again, we never really explain who we are, what we do. If you don't know, obviously Mark is one of the best lenders in Fresno, Central California area. Reach out to him for your loan, whether you're buying or refinancing. I wouldn't recommend refinancing right now.
Probably not. That's not the business right now. But
this way. But
in the future,
definitely. Yeah, rates change all the time. I am a real estate agent. I help for your primary residence. I help a lot of investors purchase property. I help list property. I sell. So real estate agent is my thing. I love what I'm doing full time. This is my probably 6th year. Came in 2017. I left my job where I was probation department, I should say, and went 2 feet in real estate, and man, just fell in love with it. Never looked back, and love helping people out, buy, sell, and invest in real estate. Whether you're flipping, whether you're buying rentals, whether you're buying your first primary home.
A lot of different ways to do things in this field, man.
For sure.
A lot of different ways.
Yeah. So just so you know, for those like first-time buyers out there, are not too familiar with how to buy a house or what the process is, the first thing you need to do after you call me, or you can call me first, it doesn't matter, but the first thing you're going to do is talk to this guy right here, because you got to get the financing settled and handled. You got to make sure you know where you are, right? You got to know how much you can afford, how much you can buy, and make sure that loan is secured. And then you come see me, and we hit the ground running to find your new beautiful home. So
absolutely
brings me to the rates. Let's talk about rates, buddy.
Right. Yeah.
Rates so crazy.
So part of that qualifying that Rich was just talking about, there's a couple different areas that as a loan officer we look at. When somebody comes in, they want to get qualified to start shopping for a home. They're tired of renting. They want to build equity. A lot of different reasons, right? Their landlord is selling the home. They're tired of moving. Whatever the reason is, when you're looking to get qualified for a home, one of the portions that determines whether you're qualified and how much you're qualified for is going to be the interest rate that you're paying on the money that you borrow to buy that home. A couple of areas that we look at when we're qualifying people, we're looking at credit score, we're looking at monthly debts, we're looking at income coming in, we're looking at the assets that you have on hand for a down payment and closing cost. So those are the 4 areas we look at. The interest rate is going to determine how much your payment's going to be, which is going to determine what your debt to income ratio is. Debt to income ratio is going to be the amount of monthly debt that you have now, plus this new potential mortgage that you might get. What percentage is that? That combined amount, what percentage is that of the income that you guys have coming in? That is what is called your debt to income ratio. So when we talk about rates, like Rich just asked me now, that mortgage payment, that new potential mortgage, plus whatever debts you guys have now, maybe an auto loan and some student loans, a couple credit cards that you pay on monthly, whatever the monthly minimum payments are, plus this new mortgage that is getting more and more and more expensive because these interest rates are going higher.
Right.
That is what's going to determine how much you buy. Rich is asking for an update on them rates because on Thursday, we saw one of the hugest decreases in interest rates.
We need that.
Citing, yes.
Let's hear it for interest rates.
Let's hear it for interest rates and inflation not going up quite as much as what was expected. That's the reason for the drop. The consumer price index is letting us know that what was expected for the inflation rise was not quite met, came in lower than that. Nice. That doesn't mean it didn't go up at all, though. So that on the flip side, you want to look at that and say how much longer are we going to have this relief in interest rates, because inflation, it did rise, but not at the rate that they were expecting. So because of that, on Thursday, we're recording this Friday. What is it? November 11/11, right?
11/11
Veterans Day.
Wow.
Happy Veterans Day. 11/11. So we're recording this 11/11 on Thursday, which was the last day the market was open, meaning that today they're closed on the Friday. So no rates move, nothing happens today because everybody is shut down. On Thursday, we saw those numbers come in. Inflation was not quite at the pace that they were expecting. Because of that, we saw a huge dip in the interest rates that they have right now. So anybody buying over this weekend,
gonna be nice.
It's gonna be nice.
Speaking of which, I want to go into this as well. I asked you earlier, but we already know. A lot of people are not too sure, like, about locking in a rate. Like how long? What does that mean for one when they say it's lock in your rate? And not only what does it mean, how long does that lock last for?
Traditionally, when we go to lock a rate as a loan officer, we're looking at locking this. All price comparisons and interest rates and everything different between a bank, a broker, a correspondent lender, all these people who are offering, financing for your real estate needs, they're traditionally going to be locking for 30 days, because that's the time of the escrow. Most contracts, you can put an offer in, you get an offer accepted. We're looking at 30 days from the offer accepted to closing that thing, right? That's traditional.
For sure.
So we're looking to have a rate locked to where it's not up and down while we're throughout that entire process for those 30 days. Now, it's possible to lock for days outside of that. You can lock for less than 30, which would be cheaper for you because you're not locking in today's rate for as long. If you are locking it in for a certain amount of time, the mortgage company is going to make sure that you're paying for that up front. Okay.
But there is a cost applied.
There is a difference.
To lock a rate.
Correct.
Correct. People are not aware of that probably.
So when somebody says, hey, I got a new construction home, it's not supposed to be built for another 60, 70, 80 days.
Right.
30-day lock is not going to work. So when somebody quotes you, yeah, I can get you at 6.5%, that may be a 30-day lock. But when you tell them I need 90 days, it's not going to be a 6.5% anymore.
Right.
Because that cost is going to be in that rate. You need to lock it for 3 times as long, you're going to pay for it. So you may not get a 6.5, you may get a 6.75 because you have to lock it for a long amount of time. Right. And there's a cost associated with that.
No, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good information, man. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, real estate in general could be very overwhelming and confusing for most people, especially first-time buyers. They're just like, it's a lot going on. But to make it very simple, the first step is just talking to a loan officer, whether it's one whether it's your own bank, whether it's Mark, whoever. But start there, And me, I always recommend, especially first time buyers, to always, seek at least two or three different loan officers, right? You want different,
Absolutely.
yeah, you want to shop. It's called shopping for your rate. You want to shop around, see what type of the best product or best interest rate that's going to suit your needs and be best for you. And also, who you feel most comfortable with as a loan officer to work with. So I definitely recommend that strongly, to seek a couple different ones. And then once you're set, go see a real estate agent like myself or whoever, and find your beautiful home. So
And
that's
start the fun part.
start the fun part.
That's
Well,
the fun part
it's
right there.
very fun.
It
Especially
could be difficult,
it could be difficult. We just left a
but in
really
this market, what are you
difficult
seeing?
market, bro.
What are you seeing right now? Is it more enjoyable for these buyers you're working with right now, or getting offers accepted and not having to compete with 30 offers
100%.
all over
100%.
cash at a hand?
Mhm. So the thing is this, on the surface, right? It looks scary. It looks crazy. It looks like it's not a good time to buy,
Mhm.
because of the news and the media. And you got people out there that, they put out videos to maybe put fear into people, right? The rates are so high, da da da.
Right.
But on the flip side, the reality of that is that we just left a crazy market where the average first time buyer was not able to compete. They were not able to get the house they really wanted at all. It was just so tough because it was so much competition, right? You're competing with 10 to 12 to 20 other buyers who want the same house.
Right.
And those people are throwing a ton of money at the house and well overpaying, right? So we just left that market. Now, right now, especially for the first time buyer, the veteran, the FHA buyer, this is your market. This is the time for you to jump in because you have so much leverage. You have way more control than you ever had. You basically can go out and take your time to shop around to find the best house for you. And once you do, now you have it's a great chance you're going to have a lot of chances to negotiate. You're going to have a lot of leverage to negotiate the price down, if potentially, not even if you're not negotiating, you can't get the price a little lower, but the seller, you can always get closing costs, right? You can get the seller to buy your rate down. None of this stuff was happening in the market we just left.
No.
We're just
No,
talking
not
maybe
at all.
even 2-3 months ago. This was not happening. From I want to say end of May of 2020 till up about maybe August of 22 is when that market was too
Yeah,
crazy.
even maybe a little bit before,
Maybe
but
it
this year though,
rates started creeping a
about
little
2
earlier.
years.
July, July they kind
It
of
was a
start
bloodbath.
June, July,
About 2 years. It was a bloodbath.
But
Who's
prior
got
to
more, right?
yeah, exactly. So now, like I said, this is the time for buyers, especially if you're a first time home buyer. This is the time. I would say this really, even if you're not sure, just get pre-qualified. See what you can buy. Then take your time to see what's available in the market and see if it's something that you would be interested in, not and then make that offer, based on your comfort level of what your payments are going to be. Because really, payment, I would say, is the most important thing for your loan. Like, you just got to be comfortable with that monthly payment. If those payments work for you all day, every day, especially now that rents are pretty high, or going up, that payment works. Let's go find that house, and then makes more sense.
Yeah, and you know what, you can't, and it's tough too, because I remember when I first bought my first house, I was super scared about being rejected. Like, I was just like,
Really?
I don't want to hear no. Like, I don't want to hear no. I didn't know where I was at. I didn't know what went into it. Of course, I was still working in my previous job.
Yeah.
So I didn't know much of it, but you know what? I was like, if they say no, they say no. At least for me, I was going to say, okay, no, but why? And you're going to find out why. Why would I be disqualified? What can I work on to get to where I need to be? At the very least, that's what's going to happen. Maybe not with every loan officer. Maybe some loan officers might be like, nah, find the door and get out. Most won't. I mean, I'll even tell you some of my competitors here in town that I know would take care of you. That you go in there, they're going to say, hey, look, we're not quite there, but we could be if we do this, this, and this. So don't be afraid of being rejected. Don't be afraid of saying, hey, we don't qualify. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But finding out why you don't qualify, is working on those things, becoming ready, the most qualified borrower you can be when the time comes. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. So reach out.
And also, what I always tell people, like, it's not about rejection, right? It's not even it's more of just not right now. This is just not. That's it. It's just more like, okay, I know where I stand. I only could qualify for X amount, which
Mhm.
is too low for me right now, but I know where I'm at, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so now let's develop a plan. Let's let the loan officer tell me what I need to do, right? Because a lot of loan officers, if you got a good one, is gonna walk you,
Break
make
that
you like a
down.
play-by-play,
Yeah.
roadmap of what to do, what to pay down, what you need to do, and how long it should take before you do qualify for X amount that you
Yeah.
need. So that's all. It's just making a plan, knowing where you are and
Mhm.
figuring out what steps you need to make to get to that goal.
And two, on the flip side, somebody who is qualified and they're like, oh, great, I'm qualified for this much. They may not know the ins and outs as far as DTI and what their payment's going to be. All they know is that I'm
It's DTI,
qualified. That debt to income ratio
debt to income
that
ratio.
we were talking about. Yeah,
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Just make
So when we figure out what that debt to income ratio is, they may or may not know what exactly their payment's going to be. They just know that Mark said I'm good to go.
right.
Then when they reach out after, I mean, they would not know this until they talk to a professional.
Exactly.
That after I speak to them, I get all of the documents, I let them know they are qualified up to this amount. They're like, okay, what would that payment be? And
Yeah.
I hit them with 2,600. Yeah, they're qualified, but now they're saying, whoa, pump the brakes, dude. I'm trying to do
Yeah.
24 max.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Now I've learned some new information from you. How do we get our payments down to 24? How much lower on our purchase price do we need to go? How much do we need to ask and seller credit to buy our rate down to get us down to 24?
Right.
There's a lot of different ways to get down to 24.
Yeah.
Just because 350 at 7% automatically puts you at 2,600 doesn't mean that you need to be at 350, 7%. There's a lot of different ways to get that down.
Work it.
Of course, you're not gonna know that until you speak to a professional.
And that's why we preach that so much. And I know a lot of people hear that, and yeah, it could be very intimidating at first, like, oh man, I don't want to deal with it. But trust me, guys, it's really not intimidating much. And also, who you work with matters as well.
Definitely.
Every personality is different, right? Of course, we both have a laid back, easygoing personality, but yeah, it's just you just got to get with the right people, and then it's just really finding out where you are, so that way you know where you can eventually end up. That's
Right.
really what it is, and there's no pressure. It's just looking at the numbers and seeing what's right for you and what's not right. Period.
And some people are kind of fearful of that just in life, not necessarily with just mortgage,
Right.
but of being told where they're at. Maybe it's because they know they're not qualified, or maybe it's because they know that they've been, you know, not fulfilling promises they made to themselves. So they know they're not quite where they need to be, and they don't want to hear somebody else tell them, yep, you're right.
You're 100% on that.
You're not where you need to be. So that may be it, and
Honestly, the ones that probably fear that have the information but still choose not to, and I mean, we've all been guilty of that. It's
absolutely.
everybody at some point in their life, has that mentality to where it's like, man, I really don't want to find out. I really don't want to know. So you don't like accountability. You don't want to face what's the reality of life, which really doesn't do anything benefit you at all.
It's like the opposite of what you should be doing.
Dude, and then you look up 5-10 years later and you're like, man, I'm still in this situation. I'm still in this place I hate. I can't stand this. Because imagine if you started 10 years ago really looking yourself in the mirror and figure, because now that have this mindset, it's kind of hard for me to realize why I was, kind of fearful.
Any other way before.
Right. Like,
Right.
why would I be fearful or hesitant to find out what's really going with me? You can equate it to this as well, which I kind of still am a little afraid sometimes, but it's almost like say, God forbid anything happens to anyone, but say you wake up one day, you got like a little lump or a bump or something that's strange, right? And it never goes away for weeks and weeks. A lot of us are like, shit, I really don't want to go to the doctor because I really don't want to hear what this could be. It's kind of the same situation, right? Yeah, it's like you feel a little sick or something, but you're just afraid of what that outcome may be. So you're just like, I'm just gonna, brush it under the rug. I don't want to face what the reality of it. But on the flip side, if you think about it, a lot of times people unfortunately pass away or faced with something very serious is something they could have addressed early on when it first happened. You know what I mean? So the point is really tackling whatever the situation up front and figuring out what it is, whether it's good or bad. So that way, at least you know what you can do to make it better in the future, and you can get a play-by-play. But I don't know, some way instinctively, a lot of us are just kind of just don't want to know the truth or see the truth.
Mhm.
Um, for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, it's going to save, it could save your life, or better yet, either both ways, it'll save your life. You
Mhm.
know, it's going to help you benefit in life by facing, things that you may be lacking or not, there yet. At least you know where you stand and know how to get better and what to do. And same with your health.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can save it now. We can kill this out because, if you waited a few months, it could have been worse. But if you dealt with it early, it's taken care of. So same, it's very similar. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's gonna happen all through life, man. Whether you want to find out whether you're qualified for a home or not,
Yeah.
or you want to find out whether you got a job or not, or you
Very
want to find out
that part
your
too.
health. Yeah. I mean, that's adversity, and you got to learn how to
It's really
face it
it's
and
really
overcome it.
rejection. We don't
Yeah, you
we
got to.
just do not like the human nature to avoid rejection.
And it's
It's human nature.
Is it because people maybe tie that to, like, they're trapping themselves like this needs to happen, or else my
Right.
life is ruined.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not, just zoom out. Just
You know
zoom
what
out,
it is
what I mean?
too? Because I equate it to this too as well, like cold calling. Like when I first started
Mm.
making cold calls, like I didn't never want to do that. I didn't see myself calling people for the first, that was weird. I was just scared. Um, I just put it off. But it's all fear. It's the fear of the unknown,
Mhm.
and the rejection. Fear of someone hanging up on you, fear of something, yeah. But as you realize, all that is making you a better person. It's making you grow.
Yeah.
It's really like people don't realize, which I didn't realize until recently, like the things you most are fear of, or the things you think you're afraid of being rejected by, those are the things you need to go through and face and deal with, because 100% of the time you're going to be a much better person. You're going to be farther in life.
Yeah.
Period. Like, and if that was like, I don't think people really get that, because I didn't, but it's so real. Like imagine facing all the fears you have in your mind, which are all not real. Imagine getting past that one. How much stronger of a person you're gonna be after that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you go through that. Okay, cool. I've done that. Now, if I'm faced with that again, it's nothing. I can handle that. Now, man, I'm a better person. I'm more profitable. I'm more productive in life. I'm farther in life than I was.
Mhm.
Like all that's gonna come, but it's just a matter of taking that first step.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa.
Hot fire.
Whoa.
Dude, I should have.
That's it. That's
Fire.
it's hot, huh?
Yeah, heat speaking.
Oh man. Hey,
But
that's
just rejection. Yeah, just so face your rejections. I mean, and fears. That's it.
yeah. Well, I mean, what's the alternative? A comfortable life you don't want. I
Mhm.
mean, that's really the alternative.
Yeah.
An easier, less confrontational, less growth minded.
Mhm.
You won't be as tired because you're not working as hard towards your goals. That's
Yeah.
what you're trading. That's what you're
That's
trading
it.
off. That you're trading for that. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be in the same place 10 years from now.
for real.
I don't even want to be in the same place 6 months from now.
Yeah, and the only
Let
way,
alone,
and the
some
only way to
people,
get where you are now, to get where I am now, was to face those fears of
Gotcha.
rejection or fear of the unknown.
Mhm.
That's the only way. Every successful person you see on the internet, on TV, whatever they're doing, faced a bunch. The only difference is because they faced a lot of rejection, more rejection than average person, period.
Mhm.
Like in order to get to a successful place, is you have to go through a lot of rejections, a lot of risk taking, a lot of fears, whatever so-called fears there are. You got to go through all that and keep going.
Mhm.
And as you keep going, you're going to get better and better, and you're going to grow more and more, and things will be happening a lot better for you. Things will start changing. But like the artists, we could talk about rap artists too. Same thing. Any artist,
Yeah.
they got to go through a whole bunch of stuff to get to where they are. Face their own
Case in point, this
insecurity.
podcast, man.
This podcast,
We might, for the first year, the comments might be, "Hey man, these yo-yos don't know what the hell they're talking about.
You're gonna get
They don't know what the hell they're talking about."
Yeah,
And
vulnerable.
then all of a sudden, 5 years later, it's gonna seem like overnight success. We were talking about that
We
earlier.
were just
It's gonna seem like, damn, where these guys come from? Oh, it's overnight.
100.
Oh, we gotta make a viral video. This is not viral videos.
It's
We've
not-
been doing this for 5 years. This is not,
and we've had a lot of rejections. We've been called every name in the book.
God.
I don't know why I keep leaning to your mic, because
How do I get off your callers list? I don't want to sell my damn home. Stop
Right.
calling me. Oh my God. It's just,
right.
it's It's the way to go, man. You
have to go through all that to get to get your success. Like, that's a great point, man.
And a lot of what we're saying, we're kind of tying back to real estate. It's just nature for us, because that's what our profession is. But
Right.
you can literally take these concepts to anything that you're doing. If you're a bartender, okay, or if you're a barbershop owner and you want to open more barbershops, these obstacles are exactly the same. The concept is exactly the same. It's just we're relating back to our businesses, but the concept is the same. Yeah. There are growth stoppers, and a lot of people are like, well, I'm good here. I'm good right here.
Right.
Even though they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there, but
Yeah.
they tell themselves they're good there. And then they just stop. They just look at that wall and say, well, I'll just lean up against it and sit and chill. I don't need to climb it, but they want to.
Yeah.
They want what's on the other side, but I'm just gonna sit up against it.
And it's a thing of a comfort. It's like a comfort thing too. They get comfortable where they are, but on the flip side, they really hate it. So there's two things happening to what I see. Like, there are truly people that are, are doing what they love. They're good, they're happy, they're comfortable where they are. They're not striving to really be much, cool, not a problem. That's fine, perfect, great life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're specifically talking to the people that hate their job or hate whatever they're doing and really want to do something else, or really want to, grow their, develop and do other things, but there's something holding them back, right?
Right.
So now that's who we're talking to.
Yeah, this is not to everybody. I mean, this is not, everybody should not be on this train. I mean, some people, they're okay with where they're at.
Yeah.
Or, maybe they got limitations of their own. But clearly I, at least for me, I know a lot of people who have reached out to me and said, hey man, you're just way different than where you were 5 years ago. Where'd you start? How'd you start?
We're talking about coworkers, past work.
I'm talking about
friends, family.
I'm talking about friends, family, coworkers.
Really?
Just like, dude, it like makes my day, dude. It makes my day. Yeah, it really does.
Nice.
Like my younger brother is 5 years younger than me, so he's got friends, closer to his age.
Yeah.
We've got family closer to his age or younger, and they'll reach out, man. Hey, I got this job, and they're offering 401k or stock matching buybacks or whatever with whatever company they're with.
Yeah.
They got no idea what this jargon says, man. And they're like, dude, you think I can come by the house and you can explain it to me? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's set you up. Let's get you going. Or they'll come by and be like, hey man, my spending's out of control. You think you can help me out? Absolutely. Come by the house, print out the last 2 months of your bank statement and bring a highlighter. Right. We're going to find out just how much money you waste on shit.
Wow.
With this highlighter. Yeah. We're going to get a calculator. We're going to add this up. Past 2 months, this is how much you've spent. They come by, man. They come by and dude, it makes my day, bro. I'm like, all right, I'm on a good path.
Yeah.
I'm on a good, I hit those hurdles and other people are noticing, and 100%. Got to bring them with you. Bring them with you. Cause sometimes that's all it takes.
Dude, you hit a point, bro. Like, being in a business for yourself or whatever, self-employed or whatever, forces the inner you, the best you to come out. Mm-hmm. Like, it forces you to change, especially if you stay full-time in it and you go through the grind of it and something happens, like, it happens, bro. Like, you mature, your mindset completely changes. I think a lot of it because that, like, everything is on you. So you're forced to, like, do a lot of things outside of your comfort zone, for one, because, and then eventually you start getting comfortable with the things you never, like, I've done so much in the last 5 years that I could never see myself doing 10 years ago. Like, I would, you know what I mean? Like, doing, like, oh, I believe, but yeah, it does forces you to become this type of person and to, and it's a great thing though. It's a blessing, but everyone's capable of it.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world. Everyone is. It's just if they want to tap into that.
Yeah.
And even take that trip, like a trip, like go on that journey. Are you willing to find yourself, to learn about yourself, who you are, and then be accountable, right? You got to know your weaknesses. You got to sit down and face yourself in the mirror, figure out, okay, what can I do to be a better person? What are the things I don't do right? What can I improve on? You got to take really good critique. A lot of people don't like critique either.
Yeah.
They don't like to be say, oh man, maybe you can do it this way, or you didn't do a great job. Okay, great. I'm the type, like, I suck. Okay, show me how to do it then.
Yeah.
I had a coach for about 3-4 years for real estate when I first started. Great coaching. But I chose to get it's a whole coaching program, but I said, yeah, give me the hardest coach you got. I want someone that's going to be in my face, tell me like it is, do not hold back.
No sugar.
Hardcore. Yeah. No sugar. Hardcore, the real. Cause I need that.
Yeah.
And that's the only way a person's going to get better is by working on what they know their weaknesses are. You can't think you got it all, period.
Yeah. And I think there are, on the flip side, I think there are some mentors, coaches, programs that maybe aren't built for people. I mean, so if somebody wants to get to that next level, that harsh criticism on your back, holding you accountable may not be for them.
Right.
But there is a mentor in that space that is willing to sit down with you and explain to you, and not necessarily be like, hey dude, sink or swim. Did you do this, this, and this? Oh no, well, I was a little short on this. And they're getting at you. Yeah. Where there may be another mentor giving you the same advice, but just delivers it a little bit different. Right. So you gotta find what works for you. But the end result is the same. You want to grow. Yeah. You just got to find what works for you. The people are out there. Yeah. People are out there. The help is out there. YouTube, Google. Oh my gosh. You got everything you need. You got everything you need. Minus the face-to-face interaction, but you can find local professionals in your county, in your hometown that are doing things that you want to do. You see them, you see them being an example on social media. Reach out to them. How did you get to where you're doing? It's just, and it's all there. It's all there.
It's so crazy. Two things kill all that. Stop people from reaching out, right? Even though they know they want to get better, they're not nearly close to where they even thought want to be.
What are they?
Pride and ego are the two things that stop people from getting the information or even reaching their true goals and their true calling and things, right? So my point is this: I'm sure there's lenders out there that are newer that are like, dude, this Mark Rocha guy, man, he's doing this thing, right? Now, I know what I would do, but the average person may or may not. But a lot of times they'll be they won't. I mean, you can easily pick up the phone and call Mark, like, hey, bro, no, I think I really think you're, you're a great loan officer, bro. I can learn a lot from you, man.
I want to do it too.
Yeah. You got some time. We can, I love to kind of learn and blah, blah, blah. Maybe we could talk and, maybe you can show me like little stuff like that. And you being a cool person, of course, you're like, oh yeah, man. But so a lot of it is like people see people that are doing what they want to do, but maybe they feel like, oh man. So the two things happening, maybe pride and ego, and another, it could be that they automatically feel that person's maybe too busy or not even would not give them a time of day. Once leads back to what we just said, fear of being rejected. Right. Thinking that they call that person to reach out, that person may reject them. Now their feelings are hurt. Right. So your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Yeah. I heard that quote on TikTok one day. That's so real. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. So I'm gonna just let that sit there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's there's no way around it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you see things,
feelings are going to be hurt. You don't have to react to them, the same way. You just got to, well, that sucked, but keep going.
You got to keep going. And the more you do that, the easier it gets, the more of a callus you build up. So back to what I was saying, as far as cold calling, sucked in the beginning. I hated it. Nervous, calling people, getting cussed out, hung up on. For months, weeks, I was garbage. I didn't, do everything wrong. But I kept doing to where now it's to a point to where if it happens now, it doesn't happen as much, but if it happens, it's no big deal. I laugh about it. I even call people back like, oh, sorry, ma'am, I think your phone disconnected. I don't care. And it doesn't even happen as much now because I've been practicing it for so long. But the only way I was able to get to this point is hundreds, if not thousands of phone calls. And a lot of those, rude and hung up, called every name in the book, but I kept going. And and there's always a end point to where you overcome that. And now I'm better off, right? And now there's other things hurdles I need to keep going through. So it's all growth and progress. And then eventually it'll be a point where, maybe 10, 15 years where you pretty much can be, you can almost be unstoppable in the sense like, man, I got this industry down or whatever this is. It might take 5 to 10 years, but once you master whatever that is, after putting in all that hard work, man, you could you could be unstoppable. And that'd be a great position to be in, right? So that's my little take at it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. How you feeling, man? I know I'm
Good.
rambling, bro.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good stuff. Sorry.
It's all good.
Step over.
So let's you want to switch courses? Where we going to next, man? I know you got
Well,
man, Mark got some fire.
on switching there, kind of like switching subjects here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, one of the things I've noticed in this market specifically for us back to real estate is that ability to pivot, you know, and pivoting, you know, from what you're used to what the norm is now, or pivoting from what's not working, used to work, no longer working. And
All right, a little technical difficulties. You just bear with us. This is live, man. Once again, if you guys are out there, anyone wants to come on the show, we are lining up guests. We got a lot of guests lined up for the next few weeks. We're always wanting more people to come on and get you a starting point. Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
But
all right, sorry about that.
No, good.
Yeah, so you know, pivoting, especially you know in this market,
right?
And that's super important because things are changing constantly, ever changing.
Sure.
Nothing is ever, you know, solidified one way or the other. And right now, you know, I was just speaking to, you know, a couple different realtors and buyers about how to shift their mindset in this market. And you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, how just 3-4 months ago, we're not seeing things that were happening now. And we're talking about, you know, just 1 quarter ago, things were different. You know, so being able to, one, identify the shift, two, you know, make sense of it all, and three, how do I create win-win deals in this new market? Because those are the best deals to have. Right. I mean, win-win on both sides. And one of the things I was talking about was we see some homes that were going for a certain price that are no longer going for that price. They've dropped, right? I mean, they've dropped, and a real power move for a buyer right now would be to take that home that was for 400,000. It's now dropped to 370. That's $30,000 difference.
Yeah.
If you, as the buyer and your representation, your agent, go to offer, instead of the 370, offer the 382, 385, and automatically ask for 12 to 15, whatever the difference is, they've dropped down to 370. You go offer 385. That's 15 grand difference. You offer 385 and right off the bat ask for that 15 grand difference in seller credit.
Now, what's that going to do for that buyer?
So the win-win, right? You're getting a price that is closer to what the seller originally wanted. Sure. Not quite, but 400, closer.
In the ballpark.
And then now you are getting 15,000 to use on whatever you'd like. Seller buy down that interest rate from where it was to where it isn't, or where you're comfortable. That's how you get from that.
Yeah.
Whoa, 26, pump the brakes. I was thinking 24, man. That's how you get.
That's how you get down to where.
That's how you get there. You got 15 grand. It ain't out of your pocket.
Right.
They're paying. You're still paying the 370 they want. It just says 385 minus 15 grand that they're giving you.
Nice.
That's a power move right there.
That is.
That's a win-win. The seller is saying, well, we're stuck at 370 now. They see an offer come through for 385. They're going to light up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Then you see a buyer come through and be like, 370, interest rates are so high. 15 grand to buy it down. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yep. So now everybody's happy.
Everybody.
Get this deal done.
Move forward, man. Bro.
That's how you pivot. You think you can do that 3 months ago?
What is it?
Win-win. Oh, look at you.
Win-win.
I did not plan that. I did not plan that.
This is all live, man.
So
that's what we're creating.
So, dude, that's a strong move right now.
It is.
It's a strong
move. See, there's a lot of opportunity, guys. Buyers. Contact your agent ASAP. Contact your lender ASAP. You guys don't realize how much opportunity is. Even, you know, the news is scaring everybody away. The media is scaring. If you realize, look at who's buying now. A lot of investors. That could be one indicator. Like, okay, it might make sense. I might want to see what's going on with the market. Just go see. You know, there's a lot of opportunity in this market. You can get a good deal. You get the seller to cover a lot of your costs for you. Boom, boom. Negotiate price, and you're not competing. And you have a lot more options. You can be like, okay, maybe this one, but let's see what this one looks like, right? A year ago, even earlier this year, that was out the question. You had maybe one or two choices, and both of those, it's a slim chance you were able to get, unless you had a lot of cash on top of what you're putting down, like crazy. And even then, So
we'll see that right there. That was how people pivoted with the
Sure.
cash, because cash is always an option. I mean,
Yeah,
if you have cash now, you're in the same position you were
right.
in that previous market. It was mandatory to
Mhm.
have it in the previous market.
Yep.
But it's if you have cash, I mean, you're always going to be in that supreme level. You're always going to be,
Right.
you're always going to have that ability. You know what I mean? So that was just how last market pivoted.
Mhm,
They were
mhm.
like, okay, let's do cash, or let's guarantee over
Right.
appraised value.
And
You
that
know
was
what I mean?
over
Right.
yeah, extra cash on top.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
that was it.
was it smart? You know
Well,
what I
I
mean? Look where we're
mean,
at now, but it got him into the house.
well, you can look at it this way. I mean, yeah, true. There's a lot of people who did overpay and pay too much for the house that they were in a year ago and even early this
And
year.
upfront, yes.
However,
Right.
every situation is different. This is why I talk about
Right.
people get real estate confused with how stocks operate. It's completely
Mhm,
different.
mhm.
As long as you plan on being in your home, those people
Timeline.
who overpaid, it's cool if they're going to be in a house for maybe 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm
I
not
mean,
worried about it at
yeah,
all.
because by the time they get ready to sell, if they have to, it's a good chance things are going to be different at that point. But now, if they're looking for like a short term,
Yeah.
maybe stay there a year or two, then that was risky. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's all about every situation is different. That's
Absolutely.
why I highly recommend people do not talk to their family members, friends. There's always these outside voices telling you you should or shouldn't do this based on their limited knowledge or their fears, right?
Yeah.
Or they really don't, what's good for you might not be good for them. So they're going to say, no, you shouldn't buy. So if you're sitting home listening to everyone else, you're not going to do nothing. And the market, your opportunity is going to pass you. Then when the rates do go really low, all that's going to happen is going to be another crazy market we just left, where it's going to be everybody's going to be trying to buy at the same time, rates are low, and now you're going against 15, 20 different buyers for the same house, and you have slim chance of getting it.
Yeah.
Period. So this is your chance, period.
Yeah, no, I am not a fan of how the large media sources and honestly anybody, I mean, family and friends, anybody you talk to, if you ever hear or see anybody, giving you their opinion or they're trying to cite facts and they start generalizing,
Right.
that is a clear sign that they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, you cannot generalize in just about any topic or conversation. I mean, you can't do that. You can't put people in one bucket. Now is the perfect time to buy.
Right.
It may be for some,
right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it
not a
may be an
blanket
awful
thing.
time
Yeah.
to buy for somebody who's, I'm just going to do 2 years here until I graduate, or until I land that job in Oakland, and then I'm going to sell it and move.
Right.
It may not be a
may
great
not.
time, but for
Case by
somebody,
case. It's
it's case by case. So when you see like these things come out, I just like it's like the number one indicator. It's like, am I gonna listen to the rest of this video? Am I gonna read the rest of this post? If they generalize right off the bat,
Sure,
I'm just like, no,
yeah.
can't do that. It's already bad advice.
Right.
Because it's just not fair. It's not fair to everybody.
Right. And this is on a different, like I'm taking it a little bit different, but we understand we're all individuals, man. We're not all the same.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people move like sheep, like a lot of times they just go with whatever everyone else is saying or what else. And it's sad because I mean, we all were there, but you got to understand, people, that everybody is 100% different. We're all similar in a lot of ways, but we're all different. We all have different circumstances, different needs, different situations, different, everything's different. Life circumstances are different. So what's good for you may not be good for that other person, and vice versa. So you just got to figure out what's going on with you, what will work for you, seeing if that will work the way you would like it to, and go from there. But just listening to people without even trying is just gonna you're just gonna lose every time, period. Now that person who told you not to buy, you'll probably call them a year later. Oh yeah, I just bought my new house. It's a beautiful home. We're having a housewarming. And you're like, oh shit, aren't you the one who told me not to buy a few months ago? Or right. So that's how it works, right? So it's just like you can't listen to people, especially you want to get information from different sources too. Even if someone sounds like they know what they're talking about, cool. That sounds good. Okay, now let me go listen to another point of view, because I need to hear everything, right? And then you formulate your own opinion and apply it to your own personal life. That's how you gotta, I would say, operate.
Yeah, and you gotta kind of try and keep yourself separated from the people who try to try to, trap you into a yes or no, like it's, tell me right now, Mark. I mean, is it the right time to buy? Yes or no?
Right.
And I mean, if I go, well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, let's talk about this. No. Yes or no? Is it the right time?
Yeah.
You can't help somebody like that because they're
Right.
seeing black and white, and that's not. You can't do that.
You
You
can't.
can't. Everybody's situation is different.
Right.
Everybody's timeline is different. Their financial background is different.
Everything. Right.
Everything is different,
Mhm,
man. I
mhm.
mean, and you'll see these, these, and it doesn't even have to be about real estate. It could be about your politics. But yes
Right.
or no? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Does Google track my location? If I move from here to there, can they see it? I've seen this like in a courtroom, and the guy said, yes or no, does it? And the guy's like, well, I mean, I don't know what apps you have on some apps. You allow them,
Right.
so I'd have to see your phone.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he's like, no, yes or no, does it? And the guy's like, well, by default, no. But I mean, I don't know. Your phone may, because your phone is different than her phone. And
Right.
like, it just, I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
when you see people make arguments, it's like, man, that is a fallacy, and
And a
not
lot
the
of
way to
people,
think,
well,
man.
people that do that are either trying to they're trying to get you to sway to do one
Yeah.
thing or other,
Trying to
or
get you
they,
to say something.
whether they're trying to scam you or they're trying to push their what they're trying to push their what's the word I'm looking for, their motive or whatever
Yeah.
on you, or sway something,
Yeah, they're
it's
trying
an
to get you to like
objective.
agree to their agenda.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
agenda. That's the word. Yeah,
yeah.
they're trying to push their agenda on you. They're trying to sway you to do something. So never yeah, you never want to put people in a yes or no a
No.
pressure situation when there's a lot of factors involved. You know what I mean? So but yeah, man, so what else is going on, man? What else we got? We got let's see. Let's talk real quick. This is what I wanted to touch on. Let's talk about like just business in general, right? Like I heard someone say this about a couple weeks ago, and it hit so hard that it's so real. Basically, they were just speaking on how people do business is really a reflection of who they are as a person. Because I know that some people preach or years and back in the day, they say, "Oh yeah, business and your personal life are separate, or you don't. It's just business only, right?" And they put you in a situation, oh, it's just business. But in reality, if you think about it, if a person acts a certain way and say it's just business, that's really truly who they kind of are.
Oh, yeah.
That's their, you know what I mean? Like that's who they are as a person. That's their
Mhm.
morals. That's their ethics. They believe, so I always say you want to do business that reflects you as a person, right? And you treat everybody as you, well, I mean, you wouldn't want to be treated, or you treat people based in business as if you would treat them outside of business. So I think it all goes hand in hand. But I don't know, what you got any?
Oh yeah, I
thoughts
think
on
it's
that?
one piece, man. It
Mhm.
is your reputation. It is who you are,
Mhm.
guy or gal, child. I mean, we can even take it to like children playing on the playground. If how they play on the playground that's how they're going to act in the classroom. You know what I mean? Like that is who they are.
Yeah.
So when somebody, when somebody does you dirty in business, I bet you could go to their closest circles and be like, hey man, 10 grand. Somebody stole 10 grand. But is that normal? Is that normal for him? I mean, I mean, we did this deal and now it fell apart and now I can't get a hold of him.
Right.
And his inner circle might be like, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, I mean, because it carries over. It's not two
100%.
separate things.
100%.
Who you are
is
who you are.
It's your business. It's your everything.
Right.
It's all, yeah. The heck with people who do that, because we both probably, I'm sure, experience whether we're in transactions or doing deals or business with people that aren't the most ethical, or they lie a lot, or they tell you one thing and they don't follow up. So no, it's not just business, bro. This is who you are. This is how you are as a person. And it's unfortunate, but I've even done business or been in transactions with some lenders before that. I've been in the business for many years, and I just today don't understand how they do business, because the experiences I had with them were not great at all. They were they tell you a million times something, and it turns out to never be true. I remember one lender in particular. It was a horrible transaction because we almost didn't close, because every time this lender said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow for sure," or blah blah blah, nothing happens. Then you follow the next day. "Oh yeah, but like that went on for maybe 3 weeks, bro. Like every day, other day, lying, saying one thing, it's something else, then not answering the phone, just going dark, quiet for days and days, and you're like, and
Sounds awful.
it was horrible.
Problem number one,
Didn't
you weren't using me.
That's
problem number one.
100%.
You weren't
And
using
if I was able to have any control, I would have got them to you. But I was working with the list, the seller.
Gotcha.
And so the lender was with the buyer.
Whatever you
buyers
say, bitch. I'm
yeah.
writing these down. I'm keeping note of this now. I'm keeping note of this.
Nah, bro, it was a listing of mine.
Hey,
But
it's
it
everywhere.
was tough. It was
It's
tough.
everywhere.
And my seller at the time too was in the process of buying another home, so it could have killed all that. Like, so it was just bad lender. But again, that just shows their personality. That's who they are.
Yeah.
So
And some people just don't carry themselves to that standard. They don't. I mean, they focus so much more of their energy on how to get out of things,
right.
How to be shady, how to go around.
Yeah.
When really all of that energy, if you just focused on doing the right thing, you would have a much better outcome. Yeah. You would have a much better name for yourselves.
Right.
I think I remember telling you early on, when I first started, because I'm coming from law enforcement, which might be a little controversial for me to say this, but from law enforcement. And I told you early on when I had started, I was like, Rich, I'm appalled, man, at the lack of accountability in this field, man. And at the time, and I'm not talking down on appraisers at all, but at the time, appraisers were doing whatever the hell they wanted, man. They had all the business they wanted. They can make their own schedule. They'll get shit back to you. They'll charge you double if you want it.
Sure.
If you want it in a 2.5 week time frame, they're charging you double.
Right.
It's like, what? But we're gonna remember this when times are slow, and I'm gonna ask for another appraiser. Like this is crazy,
like the market we're in, kind of now.
Exactly. Yeah, limited transactions, and now all of a sudden, shit wants to get done in 4 days, 5 days,
right?
So I remember telling you, I was like, dude, it's crazy, the lack of accountability from people in this field.
Yeah,
it just blows my mind because coming from law enforcement, you don't have that freedom.
Yeah,
and the reason I say it's controversial is because that was a complaint, that was a complaint as, our country as a whole, was complaining about the lack of accountability with officers and their discretion and
right.
and a lot of the things that were happening, the deaths that were involved with officers, so there was a lot of things that were happening. And in my head, I saw it like, well, dude, you're hearing about it. So that's accountability right there. Like
right.
Like that, at least that nobody was hearing about lenders just disappearing. And then now you can't close and somebody loses their earnest money deposit. Nobody's hearing about appraisers who are charging $2,500 for an appraisal that costs $600 just to get it done. Oh yeah, I can move it up 3 days. It's going to be $2,500 because this shit was happening.
Right.
And none of that, nobody says anything about that.
Right.
But the fact that officers or law enforcement were in the news, dude, that's accountability.
That's
right there.
100%. Yeah.
That is the accountability and dude, when I came over, I was like, I don't get this, dude. Everyone is just like Wild West in this division. It's just,
there are people like that, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's with every business, really. I mean,
every business.
Like I said, it goes back to who you are as a person and your morals and ethics and and lack of compassion for other people. And but I look at it this way too, like those type of people who carry on like that, I mean, it catches up. At some point, they're gonna lose a lot of business. People are gonna eventually wake up and I mean, why? I don't understand it, man. It's like the idea, right, is to do the best you can, bend over backwards, and do a heck of a job. And that way, whether it works or not, if they see your work, giving your all, and you're trying to work every solution possible, even if it doesn't work out, 9 times out of 10, that person would refer you or recommend, because they're like, this guy was on top of it. He tried his best. He, it might not have worked because of whatever situation, but he never lied to me. He did what he said. He said what he did. All that, all that whole, it's about character and how you and integrity, right? So how you carry yourself, how you act with people. People don't forget that, and so that can go a long ways. And also, like you said, I'm very solution based. It's about being solution based instead of like trying to avoid. We know a lot of people in this business that will not answer their phone for weeks and days because they don't want to face what's reality is when To me, that's a bunch of wasted time and a bunch of extra anxiety and frustration that could have been well avoided. Like you said, let's okay, this is what's up. Day one, boom. Okay, this is what's up. It's a shit show. Okay, let's figure it out. Let's now we can spend the next 2 weeks instead of freaking avoiding each other,
Right.
coming up with a great solution. And most time we can come up with a good solution and resolve it within the 2 weeks, as opposed to avoiding it. And you're gonna have to face it one way or another. Now all that time's passed, and it just makes everything worse. And
You know what? One of the quick one-liners that I get anytime I have a buyer, including the buyers we have, they put in offers. I always have you, hey, CC me on the offer. I want to see who the listing agent is. I always call them, and one of my one-liners I drop, and even if any of them are watching,
you're gonna give it the jewels right now. You're giving some gold, bro.
Hey, every single time, I always reach out to the listing agent to let them know, hey, this is who I am, introduce myself, and then make myself available for any questions they got on that offer.
Right.
Just to speak to the strength of our buyers, my certainty of close, whatever.
Right.
But the one line I always drop when I'm speaking to them, as far as like my communication goes, is I always tell them that I'm very understanding that bad news does not get better with time. If something pops up day 1, day 2, day 21, day 22,
Right.
something pops up and it's bad news for us, you're gonna know about it right then and there. I'm not gonna ghost you. The communication is going to be there, whether you're gonna chew my head off or you're gonna say, hey, great, man, I'm glad we can close early. Bad news does not get better with time, and you will hear it from me first.
That's great.
100%. And sometimes the listing agents are like, hey, whoo, we had a problem like that on the last one. You're making it a point here.
Right.
I like it. Let's do it. I just present it to the sellers and see what we can do.
Yeah.
So and that's the truth, man.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're trying to get an offer accepted or you're working with your supervisors at whatever job you're currently at.
Very important.
Bad news does not get better with time. Let them know when something's going on.
Right.
They're going to work with you through it. As if they know ahead of time, and you got time to solve it.
Right. Solve it.
Way better. It's gonna be way better than
and not only
final hour. Like, hey, this was going on. I was trying to take care of it. Couldn't do it.
Right.
Well, shit, you should have told me 7 days ago when it happened. We could have tried together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then even going through those experiences too, it makes you a much stronger, better person for next time you come across that again. It's like, oh shoot, okay, I dealt with it before. Right. I know exactly what to do. Right. So, and the faster you're able to do that, the faster you reach all the goals you're trying to go through. The faster, basically back to what we said before, the faster you deal with fear or deal with rejection or deal with any type of uncertainty up front, you're going to get to your end results that much faster, whatever goal you got.
Coming full circle.
Full circle, man.
Full circle in here. Coming full circle, brother. I like it.
It's hot too. It's hot.
I like it, man. We should have got that fan in here.
Boy, I sweat like crazy. Yeah.
Oh, man.
What else we got, man? What else we got? Anything else on what we got? We got some other stuff to get into, man.
What we got?
You got nothing else on your list over there?
We killed it all, man.
We killed it?
Killed it all. Adversity, ability to pivot, rate locks.
Rate locks?
Rate drop.
We talked about that?
We talked about
any other topics we got, man? Like music? What's up with the economy? We got current events going on? What's anything before we get off this one? I got a little bit of time. The wife is like, blowing me up right now.
Oh, she is?
It's all good. I'm in the podcast, baby. I'll be home soon.
There you go. There you go.
You want to leave them with, man? You want to end on something?
Let's even with some good news, some positivity, man. We got
yeah.
What we got? What?
Man, there's so much we can go about, bro. Let's talk about you want to talk about the show and where it's going and headed, or we can talk about next week. We got some good shows coming up next week.
Yeah, there's some guests coming.
Got some cool guests. Yeah. You know what? We need to hey guys, we got a if you guys don't know, we got a YouTube page now. Our YouTube page. So
YouTube page.
Just FYI, guys, you'll see a lot of the little 1-minute clips on reels and stories. You're gonna see all that. But to see the full versions, make sure you hit up our YouTube page. We post the full version of every podcast in its entirety, uncut, raw, unfiltered. So you're gonna see some behind the scenes stuff on these videos, but we're keeping it natural as possible. So check out our YouTube page. I think it's YouTube/Heat Speakers. I could be wrong. Heat Speakers Podcast.
Heat Speakers Podcast.
Yeah, YouTube.com/Heat Speakers Podcast.
Yep.
Go there, get there, subscribe. We definitely want you to follow us on this journey.
Absolutely, we sure do, because you got some big visions, man.
We got big visions.
You shared them with me, and I got to admit, man, they were a little bit beyond what I had even thought about.
Yeah.
So I'm excited now, man.
Yeah, we got visions, man. We got merch coming, guys. We got our logo officially done. Shout out to
how do we get this thing on audio, man? Somebody wants to just listen.
Yeah, we're working on
We're heading down that way?
Oh yeah. We got to figure out what platform we want to have it streamed on, whether it's SoundCloud. There's ones out there. So we're definitely going to be audio soon, audio only. Again, we're on YouTube, of course, all platforms. But yeah, definitely, we got a lot of stuff playing, guys. Events in the future. Want to do events. Anyone out there? Let me put this out there too, because we were talking about this earlier. Anyone out there, just listening to us and just kind of interested in real estate, regardless of it's investing, being a real estate agent, being a loan officer, anything, give us a call, hit us up anytime, man. We love helping people. We love getting you in the right direction, where to go to, even a little insight on the industry itself. That way you can decide if it's something for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're not wasting anybody's time here.
Not at all.
I mean, just have an idea of what kind of questions you want to ask, or what you're confused about. That's where I think you should start. I mean, if you get curious about something at all in this field, there's a lot of different job titles, a lot of different capacities you can work in with real estate. So if there's any one thing, I know we've talked about appraisers on this one. Even if it's an appraiser, man, you're like, hey man, I'm thinking about joining the real estate industry and doing appraisals. Do we know a ton? No, but do we know some other appraisals? Do we know some basic knowledge? Absolutely. So if you guys got any questions at all and are interested in getting into real estate in any capacity, feel free to reach out, man. Feel free to reach out. We will answer to the best of our ability, send you to the right directions. We know a lot of people in a lot of different capacities that are willing to help, that are good people, solid individuals.
100%.
That will not steer you the wrong way, man.
Yeah.
So that's who we like to do business with. So we got a large amount of contacts that also do business that way too.
100%. And we're gonna line you up with some great people, good people. We only do business, as you know, once you get into business, you realize you want to do business with people that same similarities and morals and ethics and work the same as you. So good, trustworthy people. Consider us like the one-stop shop, really, for whatever needs you need in real estate. We'll get you to the right person and go from there, man. So let's go watch some Kings, man.
Kings and Lakers tonight.
Kings and Lakers, man.
No LeBron.
No LeBron.
Kings better win.
They got who's I consider myself a Kings fan, but I haven't really been keeping up this year. I must admit, I gotta keep it real, man. Keep it real.
That's what we're here for.
Who's our strongest player right now?
De'Aaron Fox.
Nice.
Point guard, De'Aaron Fox from Kentucky.
Okay.
His sixth year in the league.
Nice.
I think he's gonna be an all-star this year. We traded away one of our prospects last year for Sabonis from Indiana. We originally started with OKC, then he went to Indiana, and now he's with us here.
Nice.
He's been playing pretty well. Start to the season was a little slow, but he's our center. Amazing footwork, not the biggest dude. So they're actually thinking about getting Cousins back.
Oh, yeah, we got Cousins. Cousins is the baller.
They're thinking about bringing Cousins back. Obviously, he'd be off the bench. He's older, got a lot of injuries.
Yeah, he's still.
But hey, man, the Kings are playing with heart. Let me tell you what, right now, which is what I originally liked most about that team.
Right.
Back in 2000, 2001, 2002,
100%.
2003.
Oh yeah,
they played with heart, man. They were a team squad. That was the only way that you're going to get past, two guys like Kobe and Shaq.
Right.
You had to play as a team. Yeah, talent-wise, it wasn't going to be there. Those guys are.
But we had some straight weapons back then.
Oh yeah,
we had weapons from point guard. We even backup point guard.
Exactly. We had starters, depth in the bench. Everybody was doing their part, doing their job. We're building that again, man. You got to catch a Kings game.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching it tonight. I'm tuned in, bro.
They are building it back again, man.
Definitely
playing with heart. Defense, they are in your face, nice. Dude.
And no LeBron. Yeah, we got a shot.
No LeBron. We got to take him back.
Yeah, we're gonna roll over him.
I mean, the Lakers aren't even playing that well with LeBron right now.
Yeah.
We talked about on another podcast, Russell Westbrook. They moved him to the second team. So he's coming off the bench.
Wow,
he's playing amazing,
killing it.
He's killing it. I mean, the other night it was like 18, 9, and 8. His stat line. He's doing well. Right.
And on another note, just this week alone, there's been a lot of controversy with Kyrie Irving, and he hasn't played as well due to all the media
suspended right
craziness going on, and Yeah, there's a lot to that. I think we might have to get into that next time.
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot
Yeah, there's a
lot
lot
to
there.
unfold and unpack on that. That's a real touchy subject,
Yeah.
but we got to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're the heat speakers, man.
Heat speakers. All right, y'all.
All right, guys, we did it.
Till next week.
Till next week. Let's go.
Tune in.
See you guys here, man.
Later.
Check the YouTube.
Check the YouTube.
Yes, sir. We're gonna walk out to the. As I, here, I don't want to just get off.
Oh, we got something going on.
We started with Prince. I was gonna try to end off with some Prince. Let's go crazy. What is it?
There you go. Let's go crazy, Kings. Let's go crazy, Kings.
Yeah.